Okay, it is now time for the fifth guy, and he has a $2,900 bankroll. So let's see what he's gonna do. He's gonna put $100 on black. All he needs is one black number to come in, and he is done. And there it is, he's done. Hey, what's up there, Roulette players? Welcome back to Casino Wars. My name is Lenny, and I'm your host, and I got another roulette strategy for you. This one is called Low Rollers Heaven. I seen this on the Roulette Master, and then I saw it again on the Roulette Strategy King. So we're gonna go and test this out. It looks like a very fun system to play. And since it is a low roller heaven, it is based on $1 bets. You can really play a long time if you play for dollar bets. We're gonna try 5 people at different bet amounts, and the first one will be $1. All right, and let's get right into that video. What's up there, roulette players? The first person is only gonna have $29. They're going to start off with $29, and they want to try and make 100. Let's see what they can do with $29. All right, so what we're going to do with this one is you bet on one even number for $1. And it doesn't matter which one, you just pick whichever one you want to do. And then you spin. All right, that's a 16 red. That's a loss. So what you do when you get a loss is you just put $1 on one of the dozens. Any dozen, you could pick any dozen you want and go ahead and spin. And the most you're going to lose is $29. That's a 21. That's a loss. Should have went with the middle column. I was thinking about it too. And then the next bet you're going to do is you're going to put it on a double street. All right, that's a 30. That's a loss. Now you're going to have 3 shots at this one. So you're going to do, that's 1. Now this is 2. All right, that's a 25 red. That's a loss. This is the 3rd shot. That's a 9. That's a loss. So what you're going to do next is you're going to put any corner bet and spin. You're going to try this for 3 times. It's 1, 2, 3. This one will be the final, and spin. This is the final spin. That's a 3. All right, that's a loss, man. All right, we came close though. We came close. All right, now the next bet is you're gonna do a street bet, 1 street. So let's do the 19, 20, and 21 street and spin. And we're going to get 3 shots at this. That's 1, and that's a loss. This is 2, and that's a loss. And we're going to do the last one, 3rd, and spin. All right, that's a 24 black. All right, that's a loss. All right, so now the final, well, not the final attempt, but we got 2 more attempts at it. But we got to do now we got to do a split. We're going to do a split 6 times. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. And finally, the 6th time. This is the last attempt at this. All right, that's a loss. Okay, now we're going to go for a single number 12 times. This is 1. This is 2. Picked the wrong number. 2. This will be 3. This will be 4. This will be 5. This will be 6. There we go, we won. So what did we win? $35. So let's see where we're at. But we're just going to start with $1 on red now and spin. All right, so now we're up $13. That's a red, so that's a win. So we stick with red and we rebet and spin. It's 26 black. All right. So now we're going to go $1 there and spin. That's a 0. Okay, so now we're going to go for the double street. That's a 14 red. That's a miss. Rebet and spin. We go 3 times with this one. That's 2. And this is the 3rd and final one. It's a 22 black. All right, we got all around it, but we didn't get it. Okay, so now we're going to go for a corner bet. And we're going to go there and spin. Now we go for 3 here. That's 1. That's 2. I think we got it. We got it. All right, so now we're going to go back to black and spin. Now we're up $16. That's a 34 black. 34 red. Oh my goodness. Rebet. Nope, we're not going to rebet. Now we're going to go for a dozen. We're going to go for the middle dozen. Rebet and spin. That's a 30 red. All right, so now we're going to go for the double street and spin. It's a 4 black. That's a miss. Rebet and spin. Yep, we got 3 chances here, so this is our 2nd attempt. It's a 31 black. That's a miss. So we're going to rebet and spin. That's an 11 black. All right, so that's a miss. So we're going to Now we're gonna go, we gotta go on a four corners, so let's do that and spin. That's a 22 black. That's a miss. Rebet and spin. This is second attempt. That's a loss. And we're gonna go for a third attempt and spin. All right, that's a 17. I believe that's a win. It definitely is a win. All right, so now we're gonna go back to black on $1 on a black and spin. All right, now we're up $17. We're trying to get to 100. That's a 14, that's a loss. So we're gonna put $1 on the second 12 and spin. All right, that's an 8 black, that's a loss. So we're gonna put $1 on the double street and spin. That's a 1 red, that's a miss. That's 1 miss. This is the second spin. That's a 24 black. This is the third spin now, and spin. That's a 9 red, that's a miss. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're going for this. All right, and spin. Now we got 3 chances at this. This is 1. This is 2. This is the third and final attempt. And that's a miss. All right, so now we're going to go on a street. We're going to go 16, 17, and 18 and spin. This is our first attempt. That's a 21 red. That's a miss. Should have played the other side. Rebet and spin. I usually play the other side. I don't know what I was thinking. That's a 27 red. That's a miss. This is our final time. Rebet and spin. That's a 1 red. That's a miss. And that's this one. And rebet. And now we're going to spin. Hopefully we can get the first one. It's a 6 black. That's a miss. That's 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. And this is the final spin of 6. And that's a win. All right, so we won 17, so we're going to go back to black and spin. Okay, we're $18 up now. That's a 13 black, that's a win. So we just rebet and spin. It's a 21 red, that's a loss. So we're going to go to the middle one and spin. That's a 1 red, that's a loss. $1 on the double street and spin. That's a 23 red. All right, that's a loss. We're going to rebet and spin. This is our second attempt. That's a 2 black. It's a loss. And this is our third and final attempt. That's a 23 red. That's a loss. All right, so now we're going to go to a corner bet and spin. This is the first attempt. It's a miss. All right, and that's the second attempt. That's a miss. And this is the third and final attempt. It's 19. I think that might be a win. Yes, it is. All right, great. So we go back to black, $1 on black, and spin. Now we're up 20. All right, that's a black. That's a 29 black. That's a win. Rebet and spin. That's another black. That's another win. So we're going to rebet and spin. That's another black. That's another win. So we're going to rebet and spin. I should change it. I was going to change it to red. If a red comes out, oh, a black came out. Good. All right, so we're just going to rebet and spin. All right, now a red came out. So now we're going to go in the middle column and spin. The second 12. That's a 6 black. That's a miss. So now we're going to go right there and spin. This is the first spin. And that's a 2 black. That's a loss. Rebet and spin. This is the second attempt. It's a 9 red. All right. This is the third attempt. This is the final attempt. It's an 18 red. All right, that's a hit. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to go back to $1 on black and spin. We're up $25 now. It's a 19 red. All right, that's a red, so it's a loss. $1 on the middle, the second 12. All right, that's a 26 black. That's a loss. So we're going to put $1 there on that double street and spin. Always play the same double street. That's what I am doing anyway. You don't have to, but I am going to be playing the same double street because I'm aiming. What my goal is to hit the 17 and 20. Those are my two major numbers. So that's why I go with black, because they're both black. And I'm just going to always count on the 17 or the 20 coming in. And if I get the others in the meantime, that's fine. And this is the third attempt, I believe. Yes, this is the third attempt. And that's a 00. That's a loss. So now we got to go with the 4 numbers. And like I said, I'm always going for the 17 and 20. I'm going to change it up though. I'm going to go from the top this time. That's a 24 black. All right, that's a miss. That's our first attempt. This is our second attempt. That's a 2 black. That's a miss. So this is our third and final attempt. Rebet and spin. The only thing that I have to break that rule is with this one, because I can only pick the 17 or the 20, and in this case I'm going to pick the 20. I usually always pick the 20. It's a 25 red. That's a loss. So that's 1. This is the second. And spin. That's an 11. All right, I almost got the 20. Rebet, and this is the final attempt to get the 20 or 19 or the 21. 14, that is a loss. All right, so now times. So let's go ahead and spin. Try this for 16 times. And we got it the first time. Nice, that's a $17 win. So now we're gonna go back to black and spin. All right, now we're up $31. At this point, I don't think we can lose. That's a 29 black, that is a win. Rebet and spin. I believe we cannot lose at this point if we play the system right. That's a 3 red, that is a loss. So we're gonna go in the middle and spin. All right, that's a 32 red, that's a loss. Okay, so we're gonna play the 16-19 split and spin. I'll try this 3 times. This is the first time. This is chance number 2. It's a 31 black. That's a chance number 2. Now we're going for the third and final shot and spin. That's a 25 red. That's a loss. All right, so now we got to go to the 4 corners. 17, 20, 16, and 19 and spin. We got 3 chances with this. That's a 16. That's the win. That's good. So now we're going to go back to the dollar bet on black and spin. Now we're up $35. Looking to get 100. All right, that's a 24 black. That's a win. So we're going to rebet and spin. All right, that's a 5 red. All right, that's a loss. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put $1 on the second 12 and spin. That's a 00. That's a loss. So we're going to put it on the double street there and go ahead and spin. I'm going to try this 3 times. That's 1 miss. It's 2 misses. And we're going for the final miss. We're going to go for the final shot. That's a 24 black. I think we missed it. We did. All right. So now we're going to go for the 4 corners again. And we're going to go for that for 3 times. This is the 1. That's a miss. Go for 2. All right, that's a miss. And then this is the final time. And spin. All right, that's a 1. That's a miss. So that's the final time for that. Now we're going to go for a street. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. That's a 13 black. That was our final chance. Now we're going to play a double. We're going to play that and spin. We got 6 chances to get this now. And that's a miss. That's 1. This is 2. It's a miss. So this is 3. And we got it. All right. All right, so now we go back to $1 on black and spin. Now we're up $40. Trying to get to 100. That's an 8 black. All right, that's $1. That's a win. So we're going to rebet and spin. All right, that's a 5 red. We missed, so we're going to go in the second 12 and spin. That's a 20 black. That's a win. That's our number too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to put $1 on black and spin. We're starting over again. Now we're up $42. All right, that's 25 red. That's a loss. So we're going to put $1 on the second 12 and spin. And that's a 10 black. That's a loss. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the 16, 19 street, double street, and spin. It's an 11 black. That's a miss. So that's 1 miss. Now we got number 2. This is the second spin. All right, that's a 27 red. All right, that's a miss. So we're going to rebet and we're going to spin. This is the third and final time. That's a 27 red. I believe that's a miss. So that's it. So now we got to go and we got to play a coin and spin. We're up $37. That's a 2 black. That's a miss. So that's 1 miss. This will be the second chance. All right, that's a 26 black. That's a miss. So we're going to rebet, and this is the final attempt. That's a 23 red, and we missed. Go to one single street, and we're going to go with that one and spin. Always go for the 20 when your 17 is not possible to try for. That's an 8 black. All right, that's a miss. That's 1 miss. This is the second attempt. All right, I think I got it. I did get it. That's my number. All right, so now we're going to go back to black and spin. Now we're at $44, looking to get to 100. That's a black. All right, that's a win. All right, we're just going to play the black again. All right, that's a red, so that's a miss. So now we're going to go to the second dozen and spin. All right, that's a 3 red, that's a miss. So we're going to go to the double street and spin. And that's a 27 red. Rebet. And spin. This is our second attempt. All right, that's a miss. All right, and this is our third attempt, third and final. It's 25 red. All right, that's a miss. So now we're going to go for that and spin. This is our first attempt. That's a miss. All right, this is our second attempt. It's 21 red. I think that might be a hit. Oh no, it's not. We're just off. Okay. So this is our final spin. All right, that's a 13 black. That's a miss. So now we're going to play the 20 and spin. Need to do this 3 times. That's the first time. That's a miss. Second time. All right, that's a win. All right. All right, so now we're going to go back to $1 on black and spin. We're at $46 now. It's a 22 black. Now that's a win. So we're going to rebet and spin. We're at $47. It's a 16 red. We're going to put $1 on that and spin. It's a 6 black. That's a loss. So we're going to go to the double street and spin. All right, that's a 26 black. That's a miss. So we're going to rebet and spin. We're going to go 3 times with this one. It's a second attempt. So 36 red. All right, that's a miss. This is our final shot for the six double street. All right, that's a 24. That's a miss. So now we're gonna go. All right, we're gonna go for the corner bet. Now we got 3 chances at this. That's a 23 red. That's a miss. So we're gonna rebet and spin. That's a 32 red. It's a miss. So we're going to rebet and spin. This is our last attempt. And that's an 18 red. That's just a miss. All right. So now we're going to go on a street. And then we're going on that street and spin. That's a 4 black. That's a miss. So we're going the second time, spin. It's a 23 red. It's another miss. So now our final attempt. All right, that's a 26 black. It's a miss. All right. And spin. We're going to try this 6 times. There's 1. 2. And we got it. Look at that. All right, that's a $17 win. So we're going to go $1 on black and spin. We got $52 now. That's a 7 red. It's a loss. All right, rebet and spin. So we're a lot higher than where we should be. It's a 35 black. All right. Rebet and spin. We're up $56 now. All right, that's a 34 red. That's a loss. So now we're going to go on that second dozen and spin. That's a 21. That's a good one. So now we're going to go on black and spin. We're at $57 now. It's a black. That's a win. So we're going to rebet and spin. It's a 16 red. That's a loss. We're going to go to the second 12 and spin. And that's a 36 red. That's a loss. So we're going to go to the double street and we're going to try this 6 times. This is 1. This is 2. The $5 win. So now we're going to go back to black and spin. We're at $60 now. It's a 3 red. That's a loss. So we're going to go to the second dozen and spin. It's a 3 red again. Double street and spin. That's a 19 red. I believe that's a win. It is. It's a $5 win. So we're going to go back to black and spin. We're doing very good with this low ball strategy. I think it's called low ball heaven. All right. And we just won again. So we're going to just rebet and spin. That's a 25 red. All right, so that's a loss on the first, second 12 and spin. It's a 27 red, that's a loss. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna street and spin. We got 3 times to try this. This is 24 black, that's a loss. So we're going to rebet and spin. This is the second time. All right, that's a win. All right, that's a win. So we got a $5 win. So we're going to go back to black and spin. We're at $66 now, looking to get 100. That's a 30 red. That's a loss. So we're going to go to the second 12. All right, that's a 20. That's a win. All right, that's a $5 win. Now we're going to go back to black and spin. We're up $70 now. All right, that's a black. That's a 20. That's my number. What a waste of getting my number, though. Rebet and spin. I mean, I won, so I shouldn't complain, but that's a waste of my number. I like to get my number when I'm on the single digit. All right, so now we're going to... We missed, so we're going to put $1 on the second 12 and spin. It's a 19. That's a win. I'm going to go back to the black and spin. Sorry about that. That's a black. That's a $1 win. I'm going to rebet and spin. That's a 27 red. It's a $1 loss. So we're going to go with the second 12 and spin. All right, so we're going to go double street and spin. We got 3 chances at this. This is 1. 2. This is 3. The last chance. It's an 11. Black. All right, play a corner. And I'm going to try this 3 times. 1. This is the second attempt. This is the third attempt. Missed. All right, now we're going to go 3 times with this. 1. 2. This will be the third time. This is the last attempt. So 25, that's a loss. All right, so now we're going to go there and we're going to make 6 attempts at this. This is the first. Second. third. This is the fourth attempt. This is the fifth attempt. And this is the final attempt. The sixth attempt. This is the final. That's a miss. Okay, now we got to go for one single number and spin. We're going to go for this for 12 times. It's 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. This is 6. This is 7. This is 8. This is 9. This is 10. Okay, and now we are on to friend number 2. They got a bigger bankroll. Their bankroll is going to be $145. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on black with $5 and spin. All right, that's a black. That's a $5 win. So with that, we're just going to rebet and spin. Their goal is the same. They want to make $100. That's a 20. That's a black. So we're going to rebet and spin. They're at $10 now. All right, that's a 27 red. That is a loss. So we are going to put $5 on the second dozen and spin. That's a 13 black. That is a win. So we're going to go back to black and spin. We're up $15 now. All right, that's a 36 red. So that is a loss. So we're going to go $5 on the second dozen and spin. That's a 0. That's another loss. So now we're going to put $5 on the double street and spin. We got 3 tries at this. That's the first try. All right, and then the second try. All right, that's a loss. And then the third try. This is the final try. That's a 31 black. That's a loss. Okay, now we're going to go to the 4 and spin. We're going to try this for 3 times. All right, that's a 14 red. That's a loss. So we're going to rebet and spin. This is the second time. That's a 6. That's a loss. And this is the final time. And spin. It's a 28 black. That's a miss. All right. So now we're going to go on one street. And we're going to spin. We're going to try this for 3 times. That's 1. It's a miss. 2. It's a 19. I think that's a win. It is. All right, that's a $55 win. So now we're going to go back to black and spin. Now we're up $25. That's a green. That's no good. We needed the black. Now we're gonna put it on the second dozen and spin. That's a 36 red. That's a loss. Now I'm gonna put the $5 on the double street, and we're gonna attempt this 3 times. That's 1. That's 2. Okay, that's a loss. And this will be the 3rd and final time. Okay, and that's a loss. All right, the double street didn't pass. So now we're going to try the 4, the 1 on the 4 and spin. We're going to try this 3 times. That's 1. That's 2. All right, that's a loss, and this will be the 3rd and final time. All right, that's a 26. That's a loss. All right, so now we're going to do our 1 street bet and spin. We're going to try this 3 times. And that's 1. That's a loss. This is 2. All right, that's a loss. And this is 3. This is the 3rd and final time. All right, that's an 11 black. That's a loss. Split and spin. We're going to do this 6 times. That's 1. That's 2. Oh, just missed that 22. And this is going to be 3. That's 3. This will be 4 times. All right, that's a miss. So this will be the 5th time. Okay, this is number 5. That missed. So we got, this is the 6th and final time. That's a 24 black. That's a miss. All right, now we're going to go with 20, and we're going to go 12 times. Ready? Let's spin. This is the 1st. This is the 2nd. This is the 3rd. Okay. This is the 4th. All right, this is the 5th. All right, this is the 6th. Okay, we're halfway there. All right, we just missed the 20 again. We're going to rebat and spin again. This is the 7th spin. All right, this will be the 8th spin. All right, that's a loss. All right, we're going to the 9th spin. All right, that's a miss. All right, now we're going to the 10th spin. Okay. Now we're going to the 11th spin. All right. We're going to be doing the final spin. All right, that's it. All right, so the second one with the higher bankroll lost $120. $120 out of 145. All right. Now we're going to go to the next player. All right, this guy's going to have a higher bankroll. This guy has a higher bankroll. His bankroll is $290. He's going to be doing $10 units and spin. He's just looking to get to 100. All right, that's a 9 red. That is a loss though. So we rebet. Now we're going to do second 12 and spin. All right, that's a 17 black. That is my good number. I love that number. That's a $20 win. So we're going to put $10 on black again and spin. Now we're up 10. That's a 6 black. All right, we're going to go ahead and rebet and spin. That's another black. All right. So we're going to rebet and spin. We're up $30 now. That's another black. That is great. So now we're going to rebet and spin. Come on, let's get another black. There it is. We got another black. Now we're up $50. So we're going to rebet and spin. We're up $50. I probably should have switched it to red now, but I didn't. And there we go. That's the red. Okay, that's okay. So now we're going to take $10 and we're going to put it on the second 12 and spin. All right, that's a 24 black. That's a good one. So we're going to go back to black and spin. We're up $60 now. All we're doing is trying to accomplish $100. And there's another black. Now we're at 70. Rebet and spin. All right, we got a 34 red. All right, so let's try to put $10 on the second 12 and spin. And that's a win. That's a 20. That's my good number. All right, so now we're going to put another 10 on black and spin. We're at $80 now. All right, that's a 30 red. All right, so we're going to go back to the second 12 and spin. That's a 22 black. That's another good one. That's a win. So we're going to go to black and spin. If we win this, if we get a black, we're going to cash out. But we didn't. So we're going to go to the second 12 and spin. If we get this 29, we didn't. All right, so now we're going to go to the double street and spin. Try this 3 times. It's a 3 red. That's no good. That's a miss. We're going to rebet and spin for the second time. That's a 34 red. That's a miss. This is the first time we're in trouble with this guy. All right, and we're going to spin. All right, this is the third and final time. That's a 10 black. That's a loss. All right, so now we're going to go to 4 numbers and spin. We're going to try this for 3 times. It's a 28 black. That's a miss. Rebet and spin. This is the second time. That's a 6 black. That's a miss. So we're going to rebet. And this is the final spin. Come on, let's get a 20. 5, that's no good. All right, so now we're going to go to a street and we're going to spin. We're going to try this for 3 times. That's 1. This is the second time. It's a 19. That's a win. That's a $110 win. So we're going to bet $10 on black, but we're going to check before we go. Nope, we don't need to spin this. So we're going to clear that out. We don't need to spin it. We got $110. We got our goal. All right, so we got our goal with the second guy. All right, now we're going to, with the third guy, I'm sorry, we're going with number 4 now, guy number 4. All right, guys, we are going on to player 4. We're going on to player number 4, and he's got a bankroll of $645. So he's going to start with a $25 bet on black, and he's going to spin. That's a 26 black. That's a win. All right. And he's only going for $100 just like everybody else. And now he's going for his second spin. And he got a black again. So that's another $25. So he's going to rebet and spin. All right. He's going to try black again. If he gets 4 blacks in a row. But he didn't. So now he's going to go to the second phase and spin. He's hoping to get one in the middle dozen. All right, that's a 19. That is in the middle dozen. So he's got a second chance, another chance at the black, and spin. All he needs is 1 black right here, and he got it. He got his $100 for the day, and as you can tell, he got his $100 for the day, and he's satisfied. He's going home a $100 winner. And let's get into player number 5. Okay, it is now time for the 5th guy, and he has a $2,900 bankroll. So let's see what he's going to do. He's going to put $100 on black. All he needs is 1 black number to come in, and he is done. And there it is. He's done. Just thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. And don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss another roulette spin. And don't forget, if you have a roulette strategy that you would like me to test out on my channel, please write me at lvcasino.wars@gmail.com. All right, and thank you, and you guys have a fabulous new year. Hey, what's up there, YouTube? All right, so we got our system all done, and that wraps that up, and we did pretty good. I got the stats here, and looks pretty good. The first guy, he gained $44. He made $44. The second player with the $5 bets with a $145 bankroll lost 120 out of his 145. So like I said, win more, lose less. And he lost less. He lost $25 less. All right, and guy number 3, he was betting $10 bets, and he had a $290 bankroll, and he gained $110. He made his 100 and he walked, but he made 110. All right, and player number 4, placing $25 bets. He had a bankroll of $645, and he won $100. He won his $100. He made it. Fifth player, he was a big high roller. He had the $2,900 bankroll, and he was going $100 a turn, and he turned that $100 into that $2,900 into $3,000. So he did make his $100 as well. All right. Well. That's that, and now to the great stuff. So don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss another roulette spin, and don't forget to share this with your friends and family, and you have a wonderful new year. Happy New Year.